Dobro večer svima. Pozdravljam vas i veselim se vašem dolasku da možemo danas čuti koncert Sama Rotmana ovdje u Samoboru. I hvala da još jednom možemo poslušati jedan dobar koncert i životnu priču. Nekoliko tehničkih podataka. Ovdje smo stavili papirić iza kojeg, ako želite koncert, snimku ili bilo što, ostavite nam podatke. To je bilo sve. Mogu staviti jedan mali aplauz za našeg Sama Rotmana.
Thank you very much.
Zahvaljujem se na dolasku.
I'm very happy to be here tonight.
Veoma mu je drago što može ovdje biti večeras.
I'm glad you are here.
I drago mi je što ste vi ovdje.
So the program is about an hour and a half
Znači program će trajati otprilike sat i pol.
to 8 o'clock.
Do 2 ujutro.
In America, 8 o'clock, but not here.
U Americi možda, ali ne ovdje.
20, right? 20, yes.
Do 8.
So I was supposed to come to Croatia in May of 2020.
Znači trebao je doći u Hrvatsku u ožujku 2020.
2020 was the
mjesecu.
250th anniversary of the birth of Beethoven.
To je bila 250. godišnjica Beethovenovog rođenja.
And then we had COVID.
A onda se dogodio COVID.
Then maybe I will come in May of 2021.
Onda mislio doći će u 5. mjesecu 2021.
COVID.
Opet COVID.
Then May of 2022.
Onda mislio u 5. mjesecu 2022.
Not ready yet.
Još nije bilo spremno.
But here I am 2 years and 4 months later.
Evo ga, nakon 2 godine i 4 mjeseca kasnije.
We're going to still celebrate Beethoven.
I dalje ćemo proslaviti njegov rođendan.
So the whole program is my favorite composer, Beethoven.
Znači cijeli program će biti Beethovenove izvedbe od njegovog najdražeg izvođača Beethovena.
So I'm going to play you 3 major pieces,
Svirat će 3 glavne izvedbe,
share about myself,
podijeliti nešto o sebi
and then a final, very short piece.
i onda jednu kratku posljednju izvedbu.
This is my 3rd trip to Croatia.
Ovo mu je 3. posjeta Hrvatskoj.
12 concerts in 2 weeks.
12 koncerata u 2 tjedna.
So the first piece on the program is the first piece Beethoven ever wrote for the piano.
Znači prvi dio programa će biti izvedba koju je prvi put ikada Beethoven napisao.
He was 25 years old.
Ima 25 godina.
It's in 4 parts.
Sastoji se od 4 dijela.
The first part is lively.
Prvi dio je živahan.
The second part is very slow, very beautiful.
Sporen, vrlo lijep.
The third is a little dance.
Treći je kao poplesni.
And the fourth is very fast.
A četvrti je veoma brz.
When Beethoven played this piece,
Kada je Beethoven ovo svirao,
music changed forever in one night.
glazba se promijenila u jednoj noći zauvijek.
Nobody heard music this dramatic or intense.
Nikada niko nije čuo glazbu tako dramatičnu i tako napetu.
To many people, music was entertainment.
Mnogima je tada glazba bila zabava.
To Beethoven, it was the power of the human heart.
Za Beethovena ona je bila moć ljudskog srca.
So the first piece for the piano in 4 parts by Beethoven.
Evo ga, prvi dio Beethovenove izložbe u 4 dijela.
Thank you very much.
Zahvaljujem se.
So 18 months after Beethoven played this piece,
18 mjeseci nakon što je Beethoven odsvirao ovaj komad,
something happened to Beethoven that would change his life forever.
nešto se dogodilo Beethovenu što bi mu promijenilo život zauvijek.
And that is he began to go deaf. He began to lose his hearing.
Počeo je oglušiti, počeo je gubiti svoj sluh.
80% of the music he wrote, he couldn't hear it.
80% muzike koju je napisao nije mogao uopće čuti.
So people have asked me for many years, how does a man write music if he cannot hear it?
I mnogi su me godinama ispitivali kako čovjek može pitati glazbu ako ju ne čuje.
And the answer is, you don't need to hear music with your ears to hear music in your head.
Ne morate čuti glazbu svojim ušima da biste je čuli u glavi.
So I'm going to give you an example.
Daću vam primjer.
Everybody knows Happy
Svi
Birthday.
znate sretan rođendan.
I'm going to sing for you Happy Birthday.
Otpjevat ću vam sretan rođendan.
You don't sing it.
Vi ne otpjevate.
She doesn't sing it.
Ja ne otpjevam.
I'm going to sing it.
On će otpjevati.
Happy birthday. Do you hear Happy Birthday?
Je.
Yes. You don't need to hear music with your ears to hear it in your head.
Znači ne morate čuti glazbu svojim ušima da biste ju mogli čuti u glavi.
But this is the big difference.
Ali ovo je velika razlika.
You know Happy Birthday because you've heard Happy Birthday.
Vi znate sretan rođendan jer ste čuli tu pjesmu.
Beethoven heard music that nobody ever heard.
Beethoven je čuo glazbu koju niko nikada nije čuo.
So I share this because the next piece on the program, Beethoven wrote while he was going deaf.
Podijelila sam ovo s vama zato što sljedeći komad u programu napisao Beethoven kada je bio gluh.
It's a very famous piece called the Pathetique.
Veoma poznat komad zvan Pothetik.
The word pathos is a Greek word which means suffering.
Patos je grčka riječ koja znači patnja.
That's where we get the suffering of Christ.
Od tuda dobivamo patnju Kristovu.
The pathos de Christi in Greek.
Patos Kristi, muka Kristova.
So, in the beginning you'll hear these very sharp chords,
U početku ćete čuti ove veoma oštre korde,
very painful.
veoma bolne.
The piece gets very fast,
Komad postane veoma brz.
and when you see my right hand going over my left hand,
I kada vidite kako moja lijeva ruka prelazi preko desna,
this is Beethoven talking to himself.
to Beethoven razgovara sam sa sobom.
The second movement you think would be very tragic.
Sljedeći dio bi pomislili biste da bi bio veoma tragičan,
It's the opposite.
ali zapravo suprotno.
It's absolute peace.
U potpunosti u miru.
Beethoven accepts that he will write music even if he cannot hear it.
Beethoven prihvaća da će skladati glazbu čak i ako ju ne može čuti.
I have friends who think this is the most beautiful piece Beethoven ever wrote.
Ima prijatelje koji smatraju da je to najljepši komad koji je Beethoven ikad svirao.
The third movement is very fast again.
Treći dio je ponovno veoma
And
brz.
at the end, you hear Beethoven hitting the piano with his fist.
A na kraju čujete kao da Beethoven udara klavir svojim šakama.
Now, it's not literally his fist,
Nisu doslovno njegove
but you
šake,
hear these loud chords.
ali čujete ove duboke akorde.
He wants to hear something from the piano, and he cannot hear it.
On želi čuti zvuk iz glasovira, ali ga ne može čuti.
So this is Sonata number 8, Pathetique by Beethoven.
Ovo je 8. sonata Beethovena, Pathetik.
32 pieces like this.
Beethoven je svirao i napisao 33 ovakva komada.
32 sonatas.
32 sonate.
You heard number 1,
Čuli ste prvu,
number 8.
osmu,
Now you're going to hear number 26.
a sad ćete čuti 26.
This is many years later.
Ovo je mnogo godina kasnije.
Beethoven is very famous,
Beethoven je veoma poznat,
very successful.
veoma uspješan,
He's a legend.
legenda je.
Beethoven had a friend.
Beethoven je imao prijatelja.
His name was the Archduke Rudolf Rainer.
Njegovo ime bilo je grof Rudolf Rainer.
He was the son of the Emperor of Austria,
Bio je sin cara Austrije
and he loved classical music.
i obožavao je klasičnu
He
muziku.
was much younger than Beethoven.
Bio je mnogo mlađi od
And
Beethovena.
he said this to Beethoven,
I rekao je Beethoven,
"You write music,
ti piši glazbu,
and I will pay all your bills.
a ja ću plaćati sve tvoje račune.
Don't teach,
Nemoj poučavati,
don't go to university,
nemoj ići na
you
fakultet,
write music."
samo piši glazbu.
And we can thank this one man for all the music we have of
I ovom
Beethoven.
jednom čovjeku možemo zahvaliti za svu Beethovenovu glazbu.
14 of the greatest pieces Beethoven ever wrote are dedicated to him.
14 najboljih komada koje je Beethoven ikad napisao posvećeni su njemu.
In May of 1809,
U 5. mjesecu 1989.
Napoleon invaded Austria.
Napoleon je napao Austriju.
And so the emperor took his family and his government out of Vienna for security.
I car je poveo svoju vladu i svoju obitelj van države.
And Beethoven asked his friend not to leave.
A Beethoven je zamolio svog prijatelja da ne ode.
Now you may say, of course, he was paying all of his bills,
Pa možete reći, pa naravno, plaćao mu i sve račune.
but not for 10 years.
Ali 10 godina nije.
He was very successful now, Beethoven.
Beethoven je već bio veoma uspješan.
And he told his friend, I don't need your money, I need your friendship.
I rekao je svom prijatelju, ne trebam tvoj novac, trebam tvoje
And
prijateljstvo.
this man helped Beethoven a lot.
I ovaj čovjek je veoma pomogao Beethovenu.
So Beethoven wrote this next piece called the Farewell Sonata.
I Beethoven je napisao ovu pjesmu, sonatu zove se Zbogom.
And so he writes on this piece, it's called the Lebewohl in German.
Na njemačkom se zove Leibewol.
And that means saying goodbye to somebody and you'll never see them again.
A to je pozdrav koji govorite nekome koga više nikad nećete vidjeti.
So over the first 3 notes, Beethoven writes Lebewohl.
Preko prve 3 note on piše Leibewol.
And throughout the piece, you'll hear these 3 notes.
I kroz cijeli komad čuti ćete te 3 note.
In the right hand,
Desna ruka
in the left hand.
i lijeva ruka.
The piece gets very fast,
Komad postane veoma brz.
and Beethoven is having an argument with his friend.
I Beethoven kao da se svađa sa svojim prijateljem.
They're yelling at each other.
Deru se jedan na drugoga.
Please don't leave.
Molim te, nemoj otići.
I have to leave.
Moram otići.
Beethoven asks him a question,
Beethoven ga nešto pita,
and he answers.
a on mu odgovori.
At the end of the first part, my right hand goes to the top of the piano,
Na kraju prvog dijela moja desna ruka ode do jedne
my left
strane,
hand goes to the bottom of the
a
piano,
lijeva ruka na drugi donji dio.
and Beethoven writes a musical and physical separation.
A Beethoven opisuje muzičku i fizičku razdvojenost.
It's magical.
Magično je.
The second movement is called the absence.
A drugi dio se zove
To me,
nedostatak.
yes. And this was written while the Archduke was gone.
Ovo je napisano dok nije bilo visokog grofa.
And twice in the piece you'll hear Beethoven all by himself, just the right hand.
I 2 puta u komadu čujete samo Beethovena, samo njegovu desnu ruku.
In January of 1810,
U prvom mjesecu 1810.
9 months later,
9 mjeseci
the
kasnije,
Archduke came back,
grof se vraća.
and you can hear it.
I to možete čuti.
Beethoven runs to him.
Beethoven trči k njemu,
They embrace each other.
grle se.
And it is happiness, happiness.
I to je veoma velika radost.
So this is a very personal piece.
To je veoma osnovan komad.
The farewell,
Zbogom,
the absence,
nedostatak,
the return
povratak,
by Beethoven.
Beethoven.
played a final piece, which is very short, only 5 minutes long.
Što odsvira posljednji komad koji je veoma kratak, samo 5 minuta.
I'd like to take a few minutes and share about myself.
Htio bi par minuta uzeti i podijeliti nešto o sebi.
My father was born in Romania,
Njegov otac je rođen u Rumunjskoj,
1905.
1905.
My mother was born in Bratislava,
A majka u Bratislavi,
1915.
1915.
And they were both Orthodox Jews.
I oboje su bili ortodoksni židovi.
And the Orthodox Jews are the strictest Jews that observe the Jewish faith.
A ortodoksni židovi su najstriktniji i najstrožiji židovi koji se drže židovske vjere.
And they left Europe because of one person,
I otišli su iz Europe zbog jedne osobe,
Adolf Hitler.
Adolfa Hitlera.
If my parents stayed in Europe, they both would have died.
Da su moji roditelji ostali u Europi, oboje bi umrli.
11 months after my father left Romania,
11 mjeseci nakon što je njegov otac napustio Rumunsku,
the Nazis came and killed his family,
nacisti su došli i ubili njegovu obitelj,
my grandparents.
njegovu babu i dedu.
So my parents ended up in South America
I njegovi roditelji su sada završili u Južnoj Americi.
from 1940 to 1950.
Od 1940. do 1950.
I had a brother and a sister born.
I oni su se, brat i sestra su mu se rodili u Južnoj Americi.
My mother was pregnant with me
Mama je bila trudna s njim.
in the spring of 1950.
I u proljeće 1950.
And my father got permission to bring his family to the United States.
Njegov otac je dobio dozvolu da uvede obitelj u SAD.
And I was born in October of 1950.
On je rođen u 10. mjesecu 1950.
And I was raised in a very religious Jewish home.
I odgajan je u veoma religioznoj židovskoj obitelji.
My grandparents died for being Jewish.
Njegovi baka i deda su umrli zbog toga što su židovi,
My parents suffered for being Jewish.
a roditelji su patili zbog toga.
So this was all instilled in me.
I to je sve bilo ugravirano u njega.
I would go to public school during the day,
Tijekom dana išao bi u javnu školu,
and then I went to school in the synagogue.
a onda bi išao u školu i sinagogu.
It was called Hebrew school
Zvala se židovska škola.
because Jewish people speak Hebrew.
Zato što židovski ljudi pričaju na hebrejskom.
So I learned Hebrew.
Tako da je naučio hebrejski.
I learned all about being Jewish.
Naučio je sve o židovstvu.
I learned hundreds of prayers.
Naučio je stotine molitava.
I went to Hebrew school 5 days a week for 8 years.
5 puta na tjedan bi išao u školu od 5 godina.
From 8 to 16 years old.
Od 5 godina do 16.
All my friends were Jewish.
Svi njegovi prijatelji bili su židovi.
All my relatives were Jewish.
Sva rodbina bila židovi.
I would pray in the morning for a half an hour in Hebrew.
Pola sata bi se ujutro molio na hebrejskom.
And then I went to school,
Onda bi išao u školu
and something unusual happened.
i nešto neobično se dogodilo.
I was 12 years old.
Imao 12 godina.
I began to have a very bad mouth.
Počeo imati loš govor, počeo prostačiti.
I could curse very easily.
Vrlo lako je mogao
I
prostačiti.
could lie to my teachers or parents.
Bez problema je lagao svojim učiteljima i svojim roditeljima.
So I was very religious in the synagogue.
U sinagogi je bio veoma religiozan.
And then I wasn't so religious when I left the
Ali
synagogue.
čim bi otišao iz sinagoge nije više bio
Then I went-
religiozan.
Then I went to a famous music school
Zatim je krenuo u veoma poznatu muzičku školu
in New York City
u New Yorku.
called the Juilliard School.
Zove se Juilliardova škola.
I was there for 5 years.
Tamo je bio 5 godina.
I had 2 diplomas in piano.
Imao 2 diplome iz klavira.
And there I met 3 students
Tamo je upoznao 3 studenta
who said they were sincere believers in Jesus.
koji su rekli da su oni vjerni sljedbenici Isusa.
Every time I saw them,
I svaki put kad bih
they
vidio,
were reading the Bible.
čitali bi Bibliju.
I said, this is not a school of religion,
On bi im rekao, ovo nije škola za religiju,
school of music.
ovo je glazbena škola.
And whenever they got together,
A kako god bi se oni okupili,
all they did was talk about Jesus.
sve što su radili, samo su govorili o Isusu.
I never knew about a church
Nikad nije znao za crkvu
or Christianity.
ili za kršćanstvo.
Always Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
Samo Isus, Isus, Isus.
Jesus said this.
Isus je rekao ovo.
Jesus did this.
Isus je učinio ovo.
They heard I was a religious Jew.
Oni su čuli da on je religiozan život.
And they asked me 2 questions.
I oni su ga pitali 2 pitanja.
Did I ever read the New Testament?
Jesi li ikad pročitao Novi Zavjet?
I said, no, not a word.
Rekao, ne ni riječi.
It was not for the Jews.
To nije za židove.
I had no idea what was in it.
Nije imao blage veze što je unutra.
Did I believe that Jesus could be the Jewish Messiah?
Pitali su ga, vjeruješ li da je Isus židovski mesija?
The Jews were waiting for the Messiah.
Židovi čekaju Mesiju.
I said, he's not the hope for Jewish people.
On je rekao, Isus nije nada za židovski narod.
But I was very immoral on the outside.
Izvana je bio veoma moralan,
Never drank alcohol.
nikad nije pio alkohol,
Never took drugs.
nikad se nije drogirao.
But very moral on the outside,
Veoma moralan izvana,
but not on the inside.
ne iznutra.
I knew I was not on the inside the way I could appear on the outside.
Znao da je iznutra nije onakav kakav se predstavlja vani.
I could do many Jewish things,
Mogu je mnoge židovske stvari činiti,
but not change.
ali nije se promijenio.
So I made a big decision.
On napravio veliku odluku.
I'm going to read the New Testament.
Pročitat ću Novi Zavet.
When I was a student at the music school,
Kada bio student u glazbenoj školi,
I used to practice for 10 hours a day.
10 sati vježbao bi glasovi.
10 hours every day.
10 sati svaki dan.
I started to read the New Testament,
Počeo čitati Novi Zavet.
and my whole life came to a stop.
Cijeli život mu se zaustavio.
I was shocked when I read this book.
Bio je šokiran kada je pročitao tu knjigu.
Here was a man, Jesus, who said of himself,
Ovdje je čovjek koji govori o sebi.
I am the light of the world.
Ja sam svjetlo svijeta.
Wow.
Wow.
Here was a man, Jesus, who said of himself,
Ovdje je čovjek Isus koji govori za sebe.
I am the bread of life.
Ja sam kruh života.
Jesus said of himself,
Isus to govori za sebe.
nobody comes to God except through me.
Govori da niko ne dolazi Bogu osim kroz njega.
If you have Jesus, you have life.
Ako imate Isusa, imate život.
If you don't have Jesus, you don't have life.
Ako nemate Isusa, nemate život.
Well, I thought he was crazy.
Ja sam mislio da je lud.
Nobody said words like this.
Niko ne bi takve riječi izgovorio.
Moses or Abraham never said words
Ni
like this.
Mojsije ni Abraham nisu.
So I was going to throw away the book.
Htio je odbaciti knjigu.
I'm going to go practice.
Idem ja vježbati.
And then I said to myself,
Ali onda sam si rekao,
if Jesus is who he says he is,
ako je Isus zaista onaj ko on govori da je,
I better listen to him.
bilo bi dobro da ga poslušam.
I may be making a mistake throwing this book away.
Možda činim grešku bacajući ovu knjigu.
And then Jesus said he came for sinners.
A onda Isus rekao da je došao za grešnike.
I was not a sinner.
Ja nisam bio
I was
grešnik.
very moral
Bio sam veoma
and
moralan
religious.
i religiozan.
But he came to bring forgiveness
Ali on je došao donijeti oproštenje
and to change us on the
i
inside.
promijeniti unutrašnjost.
He called it a new heart,
On je to nazvao novim srcem,
a new life.
novim životom.
I played concerts in 61 different countries.
Odsvirao sam koncerte u 61 različitoj državi.
And it doesn't matter what your skin color is.
Nije važno koja je boja vaše kože.
It doesn't matter what your politics
Nije
are.
važna vaša politika.
It doesn't matter what language you speak.
Nije važan vaš jezik.
Everybody in this world,
Svako tijelo u ovom svijetu,
7.5 billion people,
7,5 milijardi ljudi
and everyone in this room,
i svako u ovoj sobi,
we are experts at hiding things.
eksperti smo u skrivanju stvari.
You can hide things from your friends.
Možete sakriti stvari od svojih prijatelja.
You can hide things from a husband or wife.
Možete sakriti od svojih supružnika.
The first thing man ever did when he disobeyed God
Prva stvar koju je čovjek učinio kada se nije pokorio Bogu,
was to hide.
bila je sakrio se.
But nobody hides anything from Jesus.
Ali niko ne može ništa sakriti od Isusa.
And even though I was so moral
Iako sam bio toliko moralan
and so religious,
i veoma religiozan,
I thought I could hide things from people and God.
mislio sam da mogu sakriti stvari od ljudi i od Boga.
And on May 21st,
I na 21.5.
1971,
1971.
51 years ago,
prije 21 godine,
for the first time I prayed to Jesus
po prvi
Christ.
put u životu pomolio sam se
I
Isusu.
said, my name
Rekao sam moje ime,
is Sam Rotman,
Sam Rotman.
and I want you, Jesus, to take over my life.
Ja želim da ti, Isuse, preuzmeš moj život.
I told the lies I said,
Rekao sam mu sve laži koje sam govorio,
the bad thoughts I had,
loše misli koje sam imao,
the curse words I said.
prostote koje sam govorio,
I didn't hide anything.
ništa nisam skrivao.
I had finished praying.
Završio sam molitvu,
I opened up my eyes,
otvorio oči
and instantly I knew that I was completely changed by Jesus Christ.
i istog trenutka, u tom identičnom trenutku znao sam da sam u potpunosti promijenjen od
He
Isusa
cleaned my
Krista.
mouth,
Očistio moja usta,
cleaned my mind,
očistio moje misli.
and I told all my Jewish friends I met the Messiah, and his
I
name
rekao
was
sam
Jesus.
svim svojim prijateljima židovskim, upoznao sam Mesiju i zove se Isus.
I played over 3,200 concerts,
Preko 3100 koncerata sam odsvirao.
and all of my concerts are nothing,
I svi moji koncerti su ništa,
nothing
apsolutno ništa.
compared to having Jesus
U
Christ.
usporedbi s imati Isusa Krista.
Music's not the most important thing in my life.
Muzika nije najvažnija stvar u mom životu.
Jesus is,
Isus je.
because only Jesus Christ can change your life.
Jer samo Isus Krist može promijeniti vaš život.
Your friends cannot change you.
Vaši prijatelji vas ne mogu
Your husband and wife cannot
ni
change
vaši
you.
supružnici.
A church cannot change
Ni
you.
crkva vas ne može
The government
promijeniti.
cannot change you.
Politika i vlada ne mogu.
This is the miracle in the world.
Ovo je čudo svijeta.
Jesus Christ changes the heart of a person.
Isus Krist mijenja srce osobe.
You know I was Jewish?
Znate da sam bio Židov?
I was born Jewish.
Rođen sam Židov.
If I was born in Egypt, I'd be a Muslim.
Da sam rođen u Egiptu, bio bi musliman.
99% of the world is born into a religion.
99% svijeta rođena je u neku religiju.
It's not a religion.
To nije religija.
It's a person.
To je osoba.
The central person of human history.
Centralna osoba ljudske povijesti.
And I play the piano for Jesus
Ja
Christ.
sviram klavir za Isusa Krista.
He gave me the ears to hear the music,
On mi je dao uši da mogu čuti tu glazbu,
fingers to play the music,
prste da mogu svirati,
mind to learn the music.
mozak da mogu naučiti.
Jesus has never missed one of my concerts.
Isus nikad nije propustio nijedan od mojih koncerata.
Two people have never missed my concerts.
Dvije osobe nikad nisu propustile moj koncert.
Jesus
Isus
and me.
i ja.
And every time I give a concert,
Svaki put kad dam koncert,
he's in the front row.
on je u prvom redu.
And when I sit down to play,
I kad sjednem i da sviram,
he says, Sam,
on kaže Sam,
I'm looking forward to hearing you play for me tonight.
radujem se čuti te kako sviraš za mene večeras.
If I could look into your eyes,
Ako vas mogu pogledati u oči,
each one of you,
svakoga od vas,
I would tell you with my whole heart,
rekao bi vam sa svojim cijelim srcem,
it is worth living for Jesus
vrijedi
Christ.
isplati se živjeti za Isusa Krista.
And you can say, my name is,
Možete reći moje ime,
and Jesus, I want you to take over my life.
Isus, želim da preuzmeš moj život.
And he will.
I on hoće.
I want you to forgive me,
Želim da mi oprostiš.
and he will.
I on hoće.
I want you to help me and be
Želim da
with
mi
me,
pomogneš i budeš sa mnom.
and he will, and he
I on
will.
hoće.
Music gives me a lot of happiness,
Muzika me veoma raduje,
but not one note of music will change me.
ali nijedna nota glazbe me neće
I will
promijeniti.
play 40,000 notes tonight.
Mogu da ovu večer ću odsvirati 4000 nota.
Not one note will change me.
Nijedna od tih nota neće me
Jesus
promijeniti.
changed me,
Isus me mijenja.
gave me a new life.
Dao mi novi život.
It is worth living for him.
Vrijedno je živjeti za njega.
The last piece,
Posljednji komad.
5 minutes long, we're
5
done.
minuta i gotovi smo.
This is a popular piece.
Ovo je veoma poznat komad.
You've all heard this
Svi
piece.
ste ga čuli.
It's called the Turkish March.
Zove se turski marš.
You'll hear this march,
Čućete ovaj marš.
very famous.
Veoma poznat.
And then 6 variations.
I onda 6 varijacija.
And then at the end, the march again.
I onda na kraju ponovno marš.
So it's the last piece,
To je posljednji komad.
the famous Turkish March,
Poznati turski marš.
Beethoven.
Beethoven.
very much.
Zahvaljujem se veoma.
I want to mention a couple of things.
Htio bih spomenuti par stvari.
I have some recordings.
Imam nekoliko snimaka.
One recording is all Beethoven,
Jedna je samo Beethoven,
my favorite.
njegova omiljena.
5 major works by Beethoven,
5 glavna dijela Beethovena,
including the famous Moonlight Sonata.
uključujući poznatu sonatu Mjesečevu.
Then there's a recording of the French composer Debussy.
I onda ima snimka francuskog skladatelja Debussyja.
He wrote a famous piece called The Light of the Moon.
Napisao je poznatu skladbu Mjesečeva
Very
svjetlost.
delicate music.
Veoma delikatna skladba.
All the stress goes out of you.
Sva stres se znači iz vas.
Then there's a DVD
Onda ima i DVD,
of my whole story.
njegove cijele priče.
I play on it
Svira za vrijeme
and
toga
share all my life
i dijeli svoju životnu priču.
in English.
Na engleskom.
Each recording is 100 kuna,
Svaka snimka je 100 kuna.
but the autograph is free.
Autograf je besplatan.
About 25 years ago, I gave a concert in the United States.
Prije 25 godina dao je koncert u Sjedinjenim Američkim Državama.
I said, tonight the autograph is $15
Rekao je večeras je autograf $15,
and the CD is free.
a CD je besplatan.
And a man came up to me afterwards
I čovjek mu je došao kasnije
and said, I would like a CD
i rekao ja bih ti CD.
with no autograph.
Bez autografa.
I'd like to introduce my wife.
Htio bih vas upoznat sa svojom ženom.
This is my third time in Croatia.
Ovo je moj treći put u Hrvatskoj.
This is her first time.
Ovo je njen prvi put.
This is my wife, Deborah.
Ovo je njen prvi put.
We've been married 49 years.
49 godina su ženjeni.
We have 3 children
Imaju 3 djeca
and 5 grandchildren.
i 5 unučadi.
And we've had a wonderful time. And I want to really thank the great translator. Very good. So, I will be at the table if you want to talk to me.
Bit će kraj stola ako želite razgovarati s njim.
I'm very happy that you came.
Vrlo zahvalan i sretan što ste došli.
I hope that the concert was an encouragement, a blessing to you.
Nadam se da vam je koncert bio na blagoslov i na podršku
And my story will be an inspiration for you.
i da će vam njegova priča biti inspiracija.
God bless each of you.
Neka vas Bog pojedinačno
I
svakom
don't know if the
blagoslovi.
pastor wants to say something.
Ne znam ako pastor želi što reći,
I'll be in the back.
ali on će biti
Thank you very much.
Zahvaljujem još jednom.
Hvala Samu Rotmaniću, mi smo ga prekrstili odmah na izvrsnom koncertu i nas ćemo ga ponovo vidjeti. Želim samo reći da ne oduzimam puno vremena, za sve one koji žele snimku ovog koncerta neka nam stavi podatke pa ćemo se nakon javiti. Hvala još jednom vašem dolasku i bilo je izuzetno lijepo slušati ove prekrasne teme i ovu životno svjedočanstvo. Rođenja i Božji blagoslov svima.